Hey everyone, welcome to Watch It Play. My name is Rodney Smith and I'm here at the GAMA Trade Show, of course, and I'm with Brian and Andrew from Steve Jackson Games.
Yes. Thanks, Rodney. It's good to be here.
Well, listen, it's great to talk to you guys because yesterday, with all the madness going on, I didn't get to the Steve Jackson premiere presentation, which I would have liked to have, but I kept hearing about you guys anyway. Because everyone's talking about Munchkin and Steve Jackson Games. So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on right now with the lineup?
Absolutely. We've been doing a lot of branching out. We're working with some other publishers who are Munchkinizing their games. We're working with AEG on Munchkin Loot Letter that came out last fall, which is a Munchkin version of Love Letter. We're doing Munchkin Smash Up that's going to be out later this year.
Yeah.
We're working with Atlas Games on a Munchkin Gloom. So it's a Gloom game with the Munchkin characters and Munchkin theme.
We've got Munchkin Panic from Fireside Games, which is a Munchkin version of Castle Panic.
Yes, yeah.
Which is excellent. I love that game. And then we're also working with some outside licensors on getting new licensed versions of Munchkin that either we publish or that other people publish.
Right. The big one is USAopoly, which they're the ones who publish Munchkin Adventure Time.
Okay.
And we've got an expansion for that coming out. This show, we revealed that they're working on Munchkin Zombies: The Walking Dead based on the comic book.
Right.
And
fantastic.
And late this year, Munchkin: The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. Right. Well, it would be fair to say that Munchkin is bigger than ever. Like, it seems like it's just continuing to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, because none of those are the ones we are actually publishing.
Right.
So
right. Yeah.
We've got our own lineup this year.
Right. I mean, we've been publishing Munchkin stuff for a while now, but like we're starting to get to the point where other people are publishing Munchkin stuff, and that's kind of awesome.
Absolutely. When I tweeted out the announcement from AEG about Munchkin and Smash Up, well, I mean, the responses I got were, I've got to have this, I've got to have this.
Yeah.
People throwing money at the screen and all the rest of it, right? So there's still a very strong frenzy for this property.
Sure.
Right? It's been very successful for you guys and still remains very popular, and as I say, it seems to be growing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what do you have outside the Munchkin line? Like, what else are you presenting? Because I know there's more than that.
Oh yeah. We've got so Car Wars Classic is big right now.
Yes.
It's a reprint of the 1990 box game, standalone game.
It's got some updated art and pieces and stuff.
Yeah, the first printing sold out immediately. The second printing came out a couple weeks ago.
It's almost gone.
And it's almost gone.
Okay.
And we are because of the sort of runaway popularity of Car Wars Classic, we're taking the opportunity to do a Kickstarter for an expansion for it.
I heard about this. So is that also going to incorporate the core game, or is it just an expansion, or?
It's an expansion that you need the core game to play, but you will be able to get the core game through the Kickstarter.
Right. Okay.
It is. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking some of the old arena maps that were designed for Car Wars but never actually published at scale, and we're doing a box set publishing those at scale.
Right. So instead of taking a tiny little map and drawing the whole thing out on graph paper before you play, you just take the map, unfold it, and play.
And you're good to go. Right. Okay. That makes sense. And what about, I've seen some Alien?
Oh, yes.
It's a big banner.
The Mars Attacks line is doing pretty well. Mars Attacks dice game was quite popular.
It sold out, and we're on a second printing of that.
Yep.
We've got a Munchkin expansion for Munchkin Apocalypse: The Mars Attacks.
We're also doing GURPS Mars Attacks later this year. And we have a second Mars Attacks box game coming out. We have Mars Attacks 10-Minute Takedown, which is a quick playing dexterity game.
It's a dice flicking game. You're trying to flick your dice onto targets to take them out.
Yeah.
Oh, so like you're not just rolling them. You're just on the table.
Gotcha. You're like a flying saucer shooting at cities, basically. Yeah.
I have no doubt that will be popular.
Yeah, I've played it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's hard to not smile when you're playing that game.
Are we missing anything? Is that everything? Is there?
I mean, we have a pretty deep catalog.
We have a very deep catalog. There's Ogre.
Well,
I was going to ask you about Ogre. Because, of course, the big giant Kickstarter Take Over the World version is released and is out there.
And it is sold out.
Yeah. And we've also got Pocket Ogre, which is currently available.
It's a reprint of Steve's original 1977 design. It's got a fold-up map and die cut counters in a Ziploc bag for $3. Right. Sorry, $3 US. We heard about that in our meetings yesterday.
Yes, thank you. As a Canadian, I appreciate that.
And then we just announced Ogre Operation 218. Is that what it's called?
Right, you're dropping Ogre into another game format.
Right, yeah. So this will be a card game that is Ogre themed. It's using an existing game. It's Battle for Hill 218, I think is the
Yes.
Right. There was a
Yeah.
Kickstarter a little while to make a new version of that,
Okay.
and we partnered with that guy to make an ogre themed version.
Very neat.
So,
Excellent. So has there been any talk about doing an ogre-sized event for something like Car Wars or any other properties of Steve Jackson games?
Not ogre sized because we learned our lesson with that one.
That's crazy.
But
Crazy awesome.
it was,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it was a great thing for the fans, and we're happy to have done it. But it
we
was
really are. And it was,
you can only do so many things like that.
Yeah.
if you want to stay in business.
Yeah.
We committed as part of the Ogre Kickstarter to do a Car Wars 6th edition Kickstarter, and that is still in the works. That's coming. Last year we rehired Scott Herring to be the line editor for Car Wars.
Yes.
He is hard at work on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody who knows the history of Car Wars knows the name Scott Herring. He's been involved with Car Wars almost since the beginning. So we're glad to have him back.
And actually, another thing that he's working on that'll come out a little bit before that is the Car Wars card game. We're re-releasing the Car Wars card game, second edition. It's got
excellent.
I think like 40 more cards.
Yeah, we're putting some new cards in it,
Yeah.
and so that's being worked on. We're playtesting it right now.
Yeah, I actually got a chance to play test a little while ago. It was
Where do you see that in the release schedule? Do you have an approximate, or is it still too early to say?
I think it's still a little too early
Yeah.
to say.
Okay.
Sometime this year, we hope. Well, and the card game it's really nice because you don't have all the little counters. It's a standalone. You just pull it out of your backpack, deal the cards.
Yeah,
and
it's a really easy to set up, very quick, 30-minute Car Wars experience.
But it throws you into that world,
and it,
right?
and it really feels like Car Wars. I mean, you have your car and you're shooting lasers and machine guns at the other cars, and it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Castellan's still available. We got Revolution with a new expansion.
We just
Revolution with a new expansion. Hold the phone,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
So Revolution, for those who don't know, is a fairly light Euro-style game where you're bidding to control various people in town to get influence, to get support, which is your score, and that's how you win. And we did a 5 and 6 player expansion called The Palace shortly after Revolution itself came out. The Palace is sold out. It's still in stores, but distributors are mostly out.
Right.
And the designer, Philip DuBarry, did another expansion, and we developed that and published it as a new 5 and 6 player expansion that's called Anarchy, which includes areas that cost you support instead of giving you support,
Right.
ways to backstab the other players. And that came out last October, I think, last fall at some point.
And still in print, easy to get a hold of?
Anarchy it's easy in print.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. Excellent.
we also just recently released a new expansion for Shea Geek called Slack to the Future, which introduces a lot of modern technology and sensibilities.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Shea Geek was a great game, but it's pretty clear that it was designed in the 1990s. Or
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some things in there that are a little bit dated, and we've tried to update some of that stuff with.
Right, to bring the more modern gamer into the game.
Yeah, sure.
honestly. Okay.
We're working on our plans. Next year is Munchkin's 15th anniversary.
Right.
So we've got some pretty ambitious plans surrounding that.
Yeah.
Well, that's something people will be excited to hear about, I'm sure.
So make sure you come to GAMA next year. We'll be making some announcements.
What about Gen Con? Think there'll be more announcements there or any of the other events? Or?
We'll have some things to discuss at Gen Con,
Yeah.
but I know the big Munchkin one is GAMA next year.
All right.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to. Comics. Tell me about comics.
So you may have noticed that there are Munchkin comics coming out from Boom Studios. These things are ridiculously popular. They come with Munchkin cards, unique Munchkin cards for the comic. The first printing comes with it.
The first printing of each issue has a new Munchkin card. It's a brand new one that's never been published before. You can only get it through the Boom comic. And the first printing shipped at the end of January, and Boom sold out the first print run before it hit stores.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
And the second one came at the end of February, and it has sold through or very close.
So a monthly release for the
Yes.
comics? Okay.
That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah. We do have another one coming out this month.
And there's toys.
Yeah, we started making. We partnered with Funko to start making Munchkin vinyl figures that we have in 3 different versions.
Right.
One of them is out soon.
Yeah, we've got the full color version. Our main Munchkin guy that we call Spike
Right.
is anywhere Funko sells toys, they're selling this one. We've got an actual SJ Games exclusive we're selling on our website that's a glow in the dark. And then through the hobby market, we're going to be selling, if you know Munchkin, you know originally it was done in what we call duotone, two-tone art, various shades of brown. And so we did a Spike that looks like that as sort of a callback to our roots. And that's going into hobby distribution starting in May.
And those also come with unique cards.
Yeah, each different color of Spike has its own card. speaking of that, we did a pop-up store in New York in association with a toy fair called Munchkin World.
Right.
And we had some unique swag there, including the debut of our card vending machine. You put in 75 cents and you get a little sleeve that has 2 new Munchkin cards in it.
Yeah.
Okay. And where would that sort of thing be available at? Is this in stores or?
Right now, we're taking it to major conventions that we're actually exhibiting at.
So if you come to our booth, you'll be able to try it out.
We're exploring ways to get those cards into the hands of retailers because the machines are not that expensive.
Now, is that everything?
Can't talk about that. Can't talk about that. Definitely can't talk about Steampunk.
Steampunk. Munchkin Steampunk.
What? There is more. There is more.
So Munchkin Steampunk is this year's Munchkin core set from us. It's illustrated by Phil Folio, who draws and writes the Girl Genius comic.
Right.
So anybody who knows Girl Genius knows that Phil knows Steampunk. And we're jumping right to a deluxe set for this one. We're not doing the regular small one. So it comes with a board and little figures. So everybody's got a way to track their level right off the bat. You don't need any extra components for the game. In July, we're shipping a launch kit to stores. So the store can order that. They get 3 copies of the game, a whole pile of promo cards. They get some posters for their store. And then in September, we'll actually start shipping the game by itself.
What do you expect the MSRP on that to be?
It's going to be $29.95.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's a ton of stuff. Don't say we don't provide you with lots of information. There's a ton here.
If you want to know more about what's going on, you can go to sjgames.com. We post news every day on the front page of our site. Munchkin.
I'll put a link to that in the description of this video as well, so you can get to it there.
Right.
Yeah.
Munchkin.sjgames.com is Munchkin. Ogre.sjgames.com is Ogre. There's a pattern here. You can figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate sharing all of that and for you to be able to enjoy it as well.
Thank you. And whatever we forgot to talk about, we'll be sure to tell Rodney. He can put it in the show notes.
I'll definitely share it. You bet. Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.